Alright, so today we are here on the west side of the Las Vegas Valley in the master plan community of Summerlin. The name of this neighborhood is called Fox Trail. This property right behind me is actually the Medina model, I think it's how you pronounce it. It's about 3,000 square feet. So in this situation, unfortunately I didn't get to spec out this home. I had a client, they actually hired an interior designer to spec out this home, but they decided to leave out of state. And what we're going to do today is actually do a frame walk with them and kind of bring you guys along and see exactly where they are at with the process. So let's go. So right now what's happening with Select Builders of Nevada, what they're doing is, as you can see on the exterior, they are installing the styrofoam, which gives you more of an R rating. It does help insulate your home. Also, they are installing the chicken mesh wire, and this is what that chicken mesh wire looks like. So that way the concrete, the stucco concrete, can actually stick to this to create that nice smooth surface. But let's come on inside here real quick. Alright, so a couple things here. As you can see right now, everything is pretty much up. You have all the electrical, all the plumbing, all the gas lines. But before they actually add the insulation, we're going to do a frame walk to this property. However, like I said, my clients are actually out of state, so we're doing a frame walk with them so that way they kind of get an idea of what's going on here. So I guess we'll start here in the garage. Number one, we do have post-tension slabs with this builder. And the tensions on the slab, it's one cable, and it's from one end to the other end. And the PSI on it, I think it's about 3,500 PSI. Here, we do have the main water line. So this is going to be your main water line feed that comes up through here. Okay. This runs right into the main of the house, your hot and cold. This one right here is a part of your sprinkler system. So your sprinkler system is going to be about 70 PSI on this one. Now you do have a valve here that turns on and off. The reason why you have this valve, this doesn't turn it on or off, but this circulates the this circulates the water through, so that way you can clean it out. And you should get this tested probably every year with the fire department. They'll come out and take a look. Right here, what you'll see is that you'll have your 2.5, or actually your 2-inch main water line. Here's your shutoff valve. Eventually what they're going to do is put a regulated valve on here, so that way you can change the pressure of the water flow. Typically it's anywhere from 65 to 75 PSI on that. What you'll see is that that water line will run to your spigot out front and also to your landscaping. Now typically with the landscaping you should have another valve on there, but on this one they didn't put a valve on there. Now some builders will add it. I feel like it's more like a plus. Right here is your main breaker box to the outside. Depending on the type of breakers, you want to make sure you have the correct amperage. Let me give you an idea. If you are installing a pool, make sure you have a 220 with a 50 amp breaker. Now, if you decide to put a refrigerator out here, you want to have a designated outlet, right, with the 20 amp. The reason why you want that on a single separate breaker is so that way, if you have one breaker that's tied in with other breakers, you don't want it to trip. And next thing you know, your refrigerator goes out and basically you ruin all your food. Here, this is what we actually call the D-mark. This tube right here is going to go down to your main smart panel box. So that way, once you have optic fibers or fiber optics to the street, right, once they run it to the street, they will be able to fish this all the way into your house, okay? Right here, this is just your ground wire, okay? And the other thing is, this is your electrical box with your GFI. So this GFI probably connects everything into the garage. So when you hit this, Psych, gotcha! Suckers! Alright, so let's take a look here. Right here is going to be your, water heater is going to go right here. Here's your gas line for your water heater. Here's your exhaust for the heater, right? Right here, you do have the option to do a soft water loop, which is really nice. Then with the soft water loop, there's one thing that I want to show you. You have this water line, right? Now, something that's very important. Let's come into the kitchen real quick. So when it comes down to your soft water, okay? Soft water does not go throughout the whole house. It goes to certain parts. So the soft water will go to all the faucets minus the sink and also the refrigerator, okay? So now the sink where you wash your dishes and the refrigerator, right? The refrigerator, if you want RO water, you're gonna have to add an RO system, and you'll add it at the sink, right? So that way once you drink your water, also the refrigerator with the water is also RO water too as well. So by looking at this, your double oven is gonna go right here, okay? Now, right here is your gas line on the exterior of the property. And this is where you're gonna connect your, your gas grill, whatever you want to do. So that's an option. Typically, that's about $650. Your dishwasher is going to be placed right here. Right here is going to be your sink and also your hot and cold water. As you can see, your Plex, it shows you right here, hot and cold, right? Which is kind of cool. Here's your loop tied out for your RO system. That's the reason why we have 2 loops right here, right now. Now, if you notice that about 2 feet on the 2x4s, this is actually treated. They spray this for like bugs, pests, termites. Also the wood down here, what you also notice is that's pressure treated. So they actually soak that wood so that way no termites will go in and start eating up that wood. A couple things that I do want to show you too as well here. This is what we call shimmy. And this is how you actually make the drywall actually level, right? How you float the drywall. Because even though that you have these 2x4s up, they're never leveled. So instead of shaving the 2x4s, what you're going to do is you're going to shimmy these, right? And you're going to level it off. So that way when you add the drywall, it's completely flat and smooth, okay, and leveled out. Right here is going to be the range. Here's going to be your gas stove right here, okay? This is where your refrigerator is going to be. So as you can see, here's your refrigerator line. If you follow this, this brings you all the way back here to loop for your soft water, right? For your drinking water. I mean, for your water, but if you want to add the RO, you add the RO system here, then that's how you're going to get your fresh water here and here. Now, if you decide at the stove that you're going to add that pasta pot filler right on the wall, that is not connected to the RO system. The reason why they do that is because you're going to boil the water anyway and you're going to kill all that. The other thing is that one thing that you could also do is if you ever do an inspection, you do have a right to do a quality test on the water supply too as well. Not too many people do that. Here is the island, okay? This is going to be a very large island. Now, according to code, you do need an outlet on the island, okay? You have 5/8 and 1/2 inch. So typically on the 5/8 and depending on the builder, right? The thicker it is, it goes on the walls. The thinner it is, it goes on top of the ceiling. So this 5/8 right here, as you can see, is actually thicker. So the 5/8 are going to actually go on the ceilings on this one, and this one right here is going to go on the drywall. I don't know if that makes sense or not. What we have here, fireplace, Smurf tube, right off to the side. Here's also your gas line too as well. Right above here, what we have is you have the Plex. What I like about this is it's all color coordinated, right? You have the blue for cold, and you have the red for hot. Also, I believe with this builder, what they do is they try not to make so many T's, and what they try to do is run as much as line as possible, so that way they can mitigate if there's any water damage or like any main lines where you have these T's that can literally bust off pretty easy. So you don't want that because the more connections that you have, more potential of causing a water damage. So this is a 4-panel rocker switches. Now with the 4-panel rocker switch, you do have a couple options. If you're designing a home, you're coming in here, you're hitting one switch for your 4-can lighting. You have the option to do like a two-way. What I mean by a two-way is if you design that to connect from there, you can also have another switch here that controls that light too as well. A lot of people just only do it one way, and the builder do not advise them to do a two-way, which I would always do a two-way because if you're coming out from a different room, you're going to want that, right? You see what I'm saying, Rudy?
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
right here, when you see this right here, these are 24 volts. This tells you right here, this is where your thermostat is going to be. On this one, I believe this is a dual zone. Now, right above us, you have a 4-inch PVC. The black lines that you do see here, these are all the sewage line. This is all the waste line. So as you can see, there's a bathroom that's probably all the way up here, and will run all the way down here, right into your sewage line, okay? Coming up into the loft. Oh, what's great about this deal is that buyers are gonna end up flipping this property, and they are already in an equity position, so they're gonna make a lot of money on this deal. Now, let's talk about insulation in the attic. This is important, okay? Some builders will do blown-in insulation, also depending on the R rating too as well. On this one, inside the attic, the insulation is going to be stapled to the roof line. So they're not going to blow in the insulation or use the batten to lay it on top. So I think that's pretty interesting. And they say that it's more insulated. Now, I think the reason why they're doing this is because they don't have the Eclipse radiant barrier. Yeah. So this also works too as well. This is the laundry room, okay? Laundry room is a pretty decent size. We do have the flue pipe for the exhaust for the gas dryer, okay? Here is your 2 sewage lines, okay? Now we have our hot, we also have our cold. This line right here comes from the soft water loop. This is important. This line will come here through this little pipe here. Now at nighttime, you're probably going to hear something draining. That's probably your soft water, so that's okay. Here's your smart panel box right here, okay? And again, here's that Smurf tube that we were talking about that leads out to the D-Mart, the fish that fiber optic. So this Smurf tube right here, this is where we were looking at when we were downstairs. This allows you to fish that fiber optics from the streets if you want to bring that on in to your smart panel box. Now, one thing you'll notice that you'll have outlets about every 12 feet on every single wall. And I believe that's actually required to code. Obviously, code changes on a consistent basis. Also, you'll see the fire sprinkler system throughout, okay? The PSI rating on this, I think it's about 125, 135, I don't remember. But these things are actually rated for a certain temperature. So I think it's about 100 and something degrees, 100, maybe 140 degrees. Once you hit that, one of these glass will pop. Next thing you know it, you'll have water just running out. But the good news about this is if one breaks, not your whole house is going to break and it's going to flood the whole house.
It only floods in that room?
Yeah, it's only in this area. So that's the good news about that.
That's
okay.
Smart.
Now the other thing is that I wanted to talk about this. When it comes to this, you're always going to have water in the lines, right? So what the builders have now done was actually tie this to the master bathroom. So every time the person flushes the toilet, it circulates all the dirty water out here. So that way you're constantly having clean water in this line. And I think that's like genius idea.
Brilliant, man.
Now, as you guys come into the bathroom, in this bathroom right here, we actually have 2 sinks right here. The toilet is going to go right here. What's nice about this is that you do have this glass right here that really brings in a lot of light. You got your 2 rocker switches. This is a 4-panel fiberglass tub shower. Now, you're probably wondering, why is there water in here? The reason why they put water in here is because they want to make sure there's no leaks whatsoever, because they're going to test the plumbing, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Now, you do have your light right above here and also your shower head right here. Now, right above me, what you're going to see, these are actually 2 return lines. These are 20 by 24 return lines. And this is where all the hot air is going to suck through to your AC unit, and it's going to spit out to your supply lines. All right, now coming into the master bedroom here. Master bedroom is definitely a decent size. This one has a balcony, but take a look at this. You actually have the strip view. Guys, if you guys are interested in this property, let me know in the comments below, because we are going to put this property on the market. Well, guys, let me know what you think about this content. Again, if you guys want to see more content like this, drop a comment below. Also, if you guys are actually interested in this home, this property will be on the market in the next couple months. Be the first to get it. It will be a pocket listing. If you have not had a chance to subscribe to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Other than that, until next time, I'm Chakits. Peace.